episode of Minding Our Business with Jess and Jonesy. I'm
Hi.
giving my disclaimers right now, though. I'm disclaiming that I have my children. So if you're watching and I look off the screen, I look distracted or I run away, just keep listening to everybody else. Don't let it distract you. So, Jonesy, introduce our guest.
Did I do this wrong? Since I'm the one here who doesn't have kids, and this is a complete joke, by the way. Y'all always use them as an excuse. Oh, I gotta run away real quick. Is this how I like? Am I missing out on getting out of stuff because I don't have kids?
Sometimes.
Okay, all
Mm,
Absolutely.
right.
I'd rather be here than like going to wipe someone's ass. So,
Touche.
And that's
you
the
know,
isolated quote of the episode.
our
I'd
one
rather
of our
be here than
episodes,
wiping someone's ass.
one of our episodes, I literally had to leave because, like, yeah, someone needed help.
Listen, it
I
happens.
mean,
It's
not
hard.
someone. It was a kid. It was a kid, not just someone.
Right,
Okay.
right. It was Joe.
Yes, I do
Sorry,
wipe.
Joe.
I
Sorry,
wipe my
brother.
husband as well.
All right, so we are here, and despite the way we run the show like a circus with two licensed professional counselors from PA Behavioral Services, we have Nicole Garrison and we have Christina Lees from PA Behavioral Services, where they offer consistent, creative, and reliable mental health support that makes their clients feel safe, secure, and empowered holistically. They will let you navigate the path to wellness together. As featured on Psychology Today, and when this episode drops on ABC, NBC, Fox, and PHL 17, because we syndicate there.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jess. My name's Nicole, and I'm one of the partners with Christina who help run PA Behavioral Services. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I specialize in anxiety and OCD. I could go into that, but I'll hand it off to Christina right now and hit it, Chrissy.
Yeah. So my name's Christina. I've been doing this for probably 10 years as a licensed professional counselor. I opened up our business in 2019, but we've been really revving up since 2021. I am licensed in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey now. So I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit. And I'm really, really excited to be here. This is our first opportunity to be part of a podcast show. And we really appreciate you inviting us to come just to, share what's on our minds and be able to kind of be the most relatable that we can to people is our goal. Because, we're pretty real and
I
open.
hope you feel that way. I hope you feel that way at the end.
I hope you guys feel that way at the end with us.
So, are you guys business partners and you opened what would you call it? You opened what did you say, office, or did you call it a clinic?
It's a private practice, but we
Oh, okay.
are virtual only.
So how did you guys meet and come up with doing this together?
Nicole, I'll let you take. Nicole loves telling the story.
So we met, I think I've known Christina. It's got to be more than like a decade now. I think we're approaching maybe even 2 decades. I don't know. We're definitely over the decade mark. And we met in graduate school, getting our master's. And in one of the classes, we took a break, to have lunch. The class broke. And Christina was sitting next to me. And I noticed she was still sitting there. And I know she didn't have anything in front of her like to eat. And me, I'm old school. I brought my lunch, bag and all, and like sitting there on the class break. And I looked next to her and I said, "Oh, do you want some of my zebra cake? The good old zebra cakes." I said, you want a zebra cake? Because I know she don't have any. And Christina pretty much was like, "Hell yeah, give me that zebra cake." And so, yeah, we bonded immediately off of zebra cakes. And we really went to school together. We kept in touch since. And then we, became best friends since day one. So colleagues,
That's awesome.
best friends. And then we said, you know what, let's open a business together. So we opened up our business.
Yeah.
And now we have a group private practice with licensed therapists and, treating folks all across Pennsylvania. So all over zebra cakes.
Zebra cakes, launching businesses and helping the world since 2000, whenever.
Yeah. I was the matron of honor in Nicole's wedding, and that morning I built her a zebra cake. in
You
the morning.
guys need matching zebra cake tattoos.
Tattoos? I know.
You need that.
She's about to get her first tattoo, so I was going to let her kind of experience that, and then I'm going to take over with our zebra cake design after that.
Yep.
Were you
All over.
guys
All right, little Debbie's, if you're listening, little Debbie's, we're gonna need a sponsorship in the form of zebra
Yeah.
cakes. Um,
I'm a
And
butterscotch
they're delicious. If you've
person.
never had one, they're delicious.
I have never had one.
Oh, you got to get to the store.
Girl,
Mm.
yes. And your kids would love them too. Who doesn't love a good Hostess or Little Debbie, zebra cake?
I'm gonna have one and I'm gonna video myself having it and then I'll give you my review. And then if I love it, I'll be like, I'm shout you guys out. I'll be like,
And
they
then
don't only fix your mind, they fix your taste.
you can come to the tattoo shop with us too. You can just trio it up with the
Uh-huh.
tattoo.
Here's a question for you. Were there ever any concerns with you guys? Like, do you know how say people go into business together? They start such good friends, like we have the same vision. Was that ever a concern of you got like have you guys had issues? Like what was it any concerns with going together?
I
Yeah.
can take it. You want to take
Yeah.
it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, so Christina and I have been pretty clear from day one that no matter what, we were not going to let business, interfere with our friendship. And if it ever came down to that, then we would have to figure something out and, like fix the business model or transition in some way, and like we've had to have chats, we get overwhelmed just as any other person or business owner. And it's stressful, especially, raising a family and then trying to run a business on top of that. It's absolutely stressful. But I think it's important that we communicate with each other literally every day because we've seen when we don't, or every other day at least, like check-ins, checking in frequently. That's a big part in it. But yeah, I mean, we're human, but we made it pretty clear from the jump that, we were never going to let this interfere or affect our friendship because we didn't want it to. So I hope that.
Yeah, I think our
Oh yeah.
our bluntness with each other, just being very assertive. Like there were points in time where, I was going through personal things, Nicole was going through personal things, and we were just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are we doing this or no? And then that kind of would like reconnect us, and then we'd be like, okay, let's just, make sure we're checking in with each other, keeping on track. We love each other's like sisters and family, but we want to be successful. And I just think a mutual respect and just understanding each other's personalities is, what makes it work the best.
Yeah,
between
the
us.
communication is big. We communicate.
Mhm.
We have to all the time. And like she said, we're very blunt. Like what the hell's going on? Like what are we doing? What's it like? Or sometimes we just need to like vent on the phone, and then we're like, okay, well now how can we fix this? Like what do we do? Like now we've like bitched at each other for 5 minutes. Now let's recap and let's problem solve. How can we fix this? What do we do? Where do we go from here? So, but yeah, communication is huge. I highly recommend anyone that's got a business partner, communicate. You have to. You got to communicate all the time, like it's your family.
Yes, and that system needs to be implemented right now, if not done already. I appreciate you bringing that up because the way you two are operating, and there's so many layers to this now. So you're both individually entrepreneurs. You're both partners. You're both running a business. All right. So it's not just a solopreneurship or a partnership, but you have employees, you have staff, you have clients, and it's by all accounts, the factors that are involved are more stressful than working a 9-to-5 job.
Oh yeah.
So it can't always be rosy. It can't always be unicorn shitting rainbows. I can only assume.
No, not at all. And a lot of the times I feel like when Nicole and I both know there's like tension within the business, what actually helps us reset is like, let's shut the fuck up about work for a second and just kind of reconnect as people and really kind of get down to making sure we're listening to each other, knowing that we're just there for each other's people. And then that's kind of like what Nicole was saying, just the, let's let it out for 5 minutes and then kind of reset and get back to things. So
all right. So then what is the professional and clinical description of what you're doing there? Both
Facilitating breaks. That's what you're looking for.
Facilitating breaks.
Taking a break and
Self-care.
communicating and self-care. Yep. But the
Yes.
first step is going to be taking that break, taking that time out
Mhm.
and saying, like,
Boundaries.
yep, setting
Boundaries.
that boundary. But facilitating a break, you got to take that break first and
Mhm.
just check in. You got to hold the line and check in with someone. No different than what you would do with your partner, at home. We tell
Children.
clients this, like it goes, it's not just with businesses. I think you need to have a break and like, okay, stop, pause. What's going on? How are you? Just like anywhere else. I think as kids, we're really good at telling kids this, right? Like, go take a break, go take a time out.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line as adults, we forget that. And then we
Yeah.
just like run around and like on autopilot. But no, you got to give yourself a break, even if it's 5 minutes, and check in with someone, whether it's your business partner, your partner at home, whomever. I think it's really, really important, and to give yourself that time.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that mom guilt sneaks in where it's like, "Do you need a break, like, from your kids?" It's like, "No, I don't, bring them here." But, when you guys were talking, I forget. There was something that you said that I really want that, like, stuck with me, but now obviously it's gone. Alright, carry on.
Well,
Uh,
if it pops back in,
Yes.
if it's okay if I jump in, with the mom guilt. So my husband also runs a business out of our home. So my husband and I are both home, and that causes stressors and things within itself, because of just being able to balance, making sure we're prioritizing our own work. But we can't ethically have in our sessions interruptions.
Yeah.
mm,
It's a HIPAA violation. So I'm in my office and it's not 100% soundproof, but I'll be in my office and I'll be up, and right above me, my dogs will be barking, my kids will be crying, my husband will be, I'm hearing him stress out while he can technically work with the kids, but then I come upstairs and I'm burnt out, and he needs a break, and it can cause a lot of stress. But just sitting in the session trying to be present for my patients, and then hearing the noise upstairs sometimes, the mom guilt is definitely present most days when there's things going on. So actually being back in school is a good automatic boundary for me to be able to, really focus and not feel like a piece of shit sometimes.
Yeah, like, how do you like, really, like, I feel like what happens to me is when I'm doing something and everybody's there, then
Mhm.
I'm starting to frantically, like, be at, like, them, but I'm supposed to be with them because, like, especially, like, what we do, it's hard to shut off.
Mhm.
Like, it's like what I do if I'm in real estate, parts of the day. There's her face.
Oh, yeah, I was laughing.
So is there anything that you do? Like, I can't even imagine sitting there, hearing everyone scream, like, paying attention to someone being like I'd be like, "Ugh."
So, like I said, I'm a pretty blunt person. I first and foremost ask my patient, like, do you hear that shit? I apologize. And most of the time, I'm like, no, I don't hear anything. And then other times it's very present. And they're like, yeah, I hear it, but it's fine. I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. And 99.9% of the time, they're very understanding. And I just make sure I reassure them no one can hear us, even though we can hear like chaos above me. But I feel like just being very real. Is the most helpful in being able to connect with people, because they want to be there, but they also appreciate that we take our time, even though it is our job, our career. We decide to work with them, that they really just appreciate us being present for them as much as we can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off of this because this ties into what I often teach folks with anxiety and OCD, right? So we want to talk about healthy compartmentalizing. So Jess, you're talking about like, how am I supposed to like be here and present for real estate? And like, I may have a client or a customer like, bah, 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 and my kid is also like coming at me, and maybe the dog is barking in the background, and like, all you want to do is like, scream, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what Christina and I learn, you have to in our profession, is being present, being very mindful and attuned to what's going on. So as much as we hear all the background noise and stuff popping off, we have to really compartmentalize that, right? So Okay. Yep. We hear the kids, we hear everyone going off, but right now we can't do anything about that. We have to focus on the first thing. Kind of like if you are, on the phone, let's say if you're in a 9 to 5, for those who are out there, and your boss is talking to you and your child is like, mommy, 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 hold on one moment, right? Like you're kind of teaching that old school of like holding that boundary. And right now I'm going to focus on X, and I will get to whatever is going on in a moment or so. So as therapists, we have to be good at that. Sometimes it gets a little tricky, but you have to really try to stay present, and if the kids are screaming and tugging you, it's okay. Mommy will get you in a few minutes. I will go back up when I have a break from my sessions, so forth, right? With anxiety, we teach folks the same thing. Just because you have that thought in your head, like perseverating, we're not going to engage with it right in that moment, right? Like just because you have a thought screaming at you, what if, shit, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And then here comes anxiety with the what if train, like I like to talk about. You can't engage with that thought right now. You have to wait and focus on whatever the task that you're doing at hand. We call this paying attention to your values, right? So similar, this is like everything that we're talking about. Instead of focusing on that nagging voice, you're going to pay attention to maybe I'm cooking dinner. I will attend to that thought later. We're not going to entertain that thought right now. So I don't know if that's helpful, but it's a skill, that mindfulness. And it's hard. It's really hard. But the more you practice that skill, the easier it gets. Like I said, like when I first started out, and I bet Christina can attest this, it was really hard to do that. Even in like working in community mental health, like you're in an office, but you may hear someone having a really hard time down the hall screaming, and like you still have to stay focused with your client. Forget about like whatever's going on down the hall. Like that's just going to let it run its course. And I wasn't as good at it, in the beginning, but 10 plus years doing it and practicing it, it's a little bit easier. So when you're
when you say it's tricky, you say it takes time, it takes practice, like any exercise, like any muscle, it takes time. Typically that means we have to experience it and then overcome it. Is there anything we can do proactively, 2 minutes a day, or something we can do where it's a low risk, comfortable environment or scenario where we can practice that, to build up that muscle, so we're trained and more prepared for it?
Something that I recommend for folks with anxiety or OCD, and they always hate that I say this, it's going to be yoga or meditation.
Okay.
Right. And everyone that has anxiety or OCD is like, I hate meditation. I hate yoga. Why? Because when they're sitting there, they're not able to sit there. It's like, here come all the thoughts. I can't, like I'm like constantly picking at the thoughts. Right. And like, it's hard when you're sitting there trying to do a yoga pose. You may think like, what am I having for dinner? What am I doing here? What's going on Saturday? Shit, I forgot this. You can have thoughts, right? But we're not going to engage with the thoughts. All right. There's a saying with ACT, acceptance, commitment therapy, ACT, right? You're going to treat your thoughts like clouds floating by or a train running, right? Like the train's going to run. You're not going to hop on that train. So you're not going to hold on to all the thoughts, right? So like if you're sitting there, even in here, Dan, right, in the podcast, and you're like, shit, what am I going to do later? What's going on, right? Yoga, like practicing this for like a minute a day is going to help strengthen that. The goal is not to shush your thoughts or avoid them, right? The goal is just you can have thoughts. You're a human being. We get thoughts all the time, right? Like the goal is like, okay, I'm not going to grab onto that thought right in that moment. I can just let that thought be there. So if you're anxious or like you got 100 things going on, okay, you got 100 things going on right now. We don't need to grab all of them right in the second. If that's helpful. I don't know if I just confused everyone.
I've come a long way because for a very long time, for me, motherhood and business could not coexist. Like I could not be on the phone with someone if I heard my kids. I was like, oh my God, I think I'm unprofessional at this. And I've honestly with it like recently, within the past like probably year, I finally embraced that if I have to take my daughter somewhere with me to like show a house, like that kind of is what it is. And that person doesn't like that, maybe you're just not the person for me.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad to hear that. I always like hearing that other people struggle with it. Makes me feel better. It's not just me.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
human.
kind of going off of what Nicole said, yoga and meditation don't necessarily have to be the same thing. I find certain things meditative that other people might not. Specifically, like I have a station in my house where, and when I say station, I mean like I take over my entire dining room table for 6 months of making like a 3,000 piece puzzle.
Oh,
And I
okay.
have it set up out all the time. So, I like the yoga and I like lifting and the exercise. But for me, meditation is like I go and I'm having a problem or I'm struggling with something and I just walk over to my puzzle. There was this one time specifically where like I heard yelling and screaming and I was at my puzzle and I had a really terrible day. I think it was like a 5,000 piece one, like a Star Wars one, and like all the pieces were black. And I heard yelling and screaming. I came upstairs and literally, I'm not shitting you, my husband burnt his hand. My son's diaper fell off with like shit in it. My dog threw up. And then my other son, who was crawling at the time, crawled through the pile of vomit all at the same time. That's what I walked up to. And I was like, I'm gonna be right back. And I just
Go do your puzzle.
because I always joke, I said literally everything around me could be on fire, but if I'm in a puzzle, I'm just like, wait, hold on, one more piece. And I could sit there for literally days at a time and just do it.
Girl, but yeah, you took a break
Yeah.
and then you use not even
I mean,
meditation or yoga, but like mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
Like you were just like, I'm not going to tend to all that. I'm taking a break and I'm just going to give myself the 5 minutes and focusing on whatever task that I want to do. The world is on fire around me, right? So that's a good.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Because it doesn't have to be yoga or meditation, but sometimes
So it's basically this with a puzzle.
this is
Yeah.
fine.
With a bunch of pieces of puzzle around everybody.
So we're going to
Event
imagine a bunch
night,
of puzzles.
just
and that's
finish the
Christina.
puzzle.
1,000% accurate. Absolutely.
I love that. That's exactly what we're talking about. Like, it's all right. We're not going to worry about all this shit right here. Like, we're just going to have a moment. Give yourself a moment.
Yeah. And I'm very transparent with my clients when they talk about that. I'm just like, I might sound like a shitty therapist, but I tell them that story often.
No,
And
you're the
that's
best
because-
time.
We have to, use our
Be
skills
real.
that we tell people.
Yeah.
You're relatable and real, it sounds like. Both of you, really. I'm just literally really curious about this kind of stuff. Like one, like why OCD? And then Christina, if you have like a particular group of people that you like to
Oh
work
yeah, I
with,
don't think I
and
said my
then
specialty.
if
Yeah.
if there's any kind of like special like trainings or anything you do, like if you like, believe in DBT, you believe in like CBT.
Yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, okay. OCD. So I started out with trauma actually, but trauma, so like PTSD, really quick, PTSD, acute stress, anxiety, they're actually all under the same umbrella of treating anxiety. So the way similar, it's a little bit different, but the way we treat PTSD is similar to the ways that we're treating OCD. I treated PTSD for a minute with like veterans, complex, like kiddos. It just got to be too much for me at first because I tried to be Superwoman, taking work home with me. So I kind of switched gears and started treating folks with anxiety related disorders and then OCD. And I really liked it. So I use exposure therapy. We don't know. Look it up. It's really cool stuff.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, really cool stuff. That's like a whole other podcast, later
I've
down the
tried
line.
I've tried EDMR and I'm not good at it, so I haven't had a lot of success.
But anyhow, yeah, OCD is pretty cool. I get folks with intrusive thoughts who do obsessions, and then they always do a compulsion. I'll stop right there just because I want to give Christina her in, and then we can go off of whatever else.
Yeah, it's interesting that Nicole and I work so well together. It kind of just hit me because my background, we as therapists, and when you go into kind of the community mental health, everyone always gets thrown whatever is in the litter. Kids, adults, addiction, personality disorders. My supervisor that like did the nitty gritty training of me, he was like very psychoanalytic, which it's not the opposite of like what Nicole does with her OCD stuff, but it's not like necessarily behavioral, but it's more exploring and digging and kind of identifying triggers and just getting to know who you are as a person, like in depth. So it's a lot of just Socratic questioning. So answering a question with a question and really to get to know like why you are the way that you are and the behaviors that are present and challenging that and bringing it present and known so you can make changes then. So it's kind of like my style does like the grunt work of it, and then Nicole kind of can take over too and work with more of the present too. But yeah, with that being said, I work a lot with personality disorders, and I have had a smoking cessation certification that I did not continue with registering with, but I still have all the information skills. So I do work with a lot of addiction and co-occurring disorders too, which is both addiction with a diagnosable personality disorder as well. So yeah, that's my training, but that was more thrown at me, not with schooling and a specific track, but that was more the training that I had in the community mental health field, and that I began with, that I was with for 6 years.
I hate to say this. I think my screen went out and I didn't hear what that specialty was, and I wanted something with a S that you said.
Oh, so yeah, I said, so I worked a lot of my training, just because of probably the supervisor that I had, was a lot of personality disorders, and then co-occurring. So a lot of both addiction with a diagnosable, mental health disorder. So whether it was depression, OCD, or mainly a personality disorder with an addiction, is a lot of the training that I had. But like I had said, it's not because of the schooling or a track that I had chosen. It's just the community that I dealt with mainly, that had a lot of similar diagnosis. So I had a lot of exposure to that for a fairly long amount of time.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
I really like your guys' therapy style. It's very cool vibes. I feel like people would. I don't know. Give off. I don't feel like there's. I really feel like you have to be like a special person, one, to be a therapist, because how do you leave all the stuff, you know? Um, but it took me a really long time to like find someone. Like I always went to therapists, went to them twice, and I really think that there is like a lack of like, I don't know, like your kind of personality out there that's being real and authentic and like not sounding like, how do you feel about that? You
I mean,
know?
those lines come across, but I know you had said that the EMDR, you didn't feel that you were successful with. And if you don't mind, like maybe just a recommendation, it would be just, people shop around for therapists. I shopped around for my therapist, and it really does take a good connection
Oh no,
of
I love I finally found one. She's fab. I'm
yeah.
not doing that
Okay.
with her, but I'm doing it with another therapist. But the reason why I can't do it is I literally can't sit with my eyes closed and like or like do any of the stuff because it makes me uncomfortable.
So yeah, maybe like
I'm a
what
whole
Nicole
other
and I,
story over here.
yeah,
No,
what Nicole and I were talking about,
yeah,
practicing
EMDR is like
that.
a whole other, that's a
Yeah.
whole other beast, and like it's hard. They do a lot of, the term is going to be bilateral stimulation of the brain. So they're going to open up both halves of the brain so
Yeah.
that you can recall different things at the same time. You can have the memory and associate that with the emotion. And that's hard. That's really, really hard to get at. So give yourself some grace, because that's hard shit to do. So it's probably not you. It's just,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard just to access both halves of the brain at once.
Practicing
Yeah.
meditation, or like the mindfulness, and just interim periods, just the 5 minutes here and there. The first time I was in therapy, I remember the therapist was like, all right, close your eyes and breathe. And I was like,
Oh
and
hell no. I
she's
don't do that.
staring at
Nope.
me, and I'm like, are we doing anything? She's like, no, this is the exercise. I'm like, I don't fucking like this at all.
Nope.
You're not trained during the day. Our lives are just 0 to 100 from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. So when are we training ourselves to like sit in silence? We don't really get that opportunity unless it's forced. So just kind of practicing that on your own and in private might make you feel more comfortable challenging yourself just to sit in silence with your own thoughts. And then bringing that to the session might be incredibly helpful too. But just being able to sit with yourself and your thoughts is difficult enough, let
Yeah.
alone like with
But
someone
set a timer on it. Girl, just do it for like a minute. Like you don't need
Yeah,
anything more. Like when you're
30
practicing,
seconds.
I tell clients all the time, like just a minute, set a timer and just try to sit with your shit 1 minute, your thoughts. That's it. Timer goes off, you're done. Put the thoughts back. Whatever is coming up, put it back in the box,
I'm gonna do it today because I haven't this week, and Jess was holding me accountable to doing 30 minutes a week of unplugging and sitting in quiet, and I did not this week. So I'm gonna reset myself. I'm gonna commit to that today. I'll do
Yeah.
5 minutes. I'll do 5 minutes
I'll
easily.
follow up with you.
Yeah.
What day of the week are we at this point?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
know. I
All
thought
right,
yesterday
I'll
was
follow up
May.
with you in the next few days. I'll follow up with you momentarily to see if you've done that. Okay.
And so I'm gonna do it anyway, but I'm definitely gonna wait 5 minutes before I even respond. So I'll be like, listen, it's been 5 minutes. You can hold me to this.
Did I have any commitments, or am I just kind of like flopping through life?
So I'm on the spot now, and we
I don't
we
remember.
talk every day. The episode that dropped yesterday, we recorded 3 weeks ago. So I'm very confused as to what timeline we're operating in. Like it's the multiverse.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll
I
set
wish
in.
they were in like the
Because
upside down.
we're now 2 weeks into the future. And,
Yeah.
and I was just going to bring up the check-in we did last night, where I said, "Sorry, I've been quiet this week. It's been a crappy week." And then you said, "I'm in full meltdown mode." I said, "Me too." And then you said, "You fucking got this." And I said, "Thanks. I feel better."
Yep,
That's it.
Simple as
That's
that.
it.
That's
That's it. That's your check-in. Boom.
Did it fix anything? Absolutely not. But it dissipated a lot of that stress that I have. And that's my whole non-scientific running theory about secondary trauma and just dissipating it until it becomes uh, ineffective on you.
Yes.
Whatever. There's
Absolutely.
no scientific basis for that.
See, I'm selfish. I felt I'm like, oh, I said this to Dan. Now I feel good about myself because told him he got this.
And that's okay. I'm a proponent of that.
Just selfishly giving compliments
Yep, that's fine. Do it.
to
Do it
make
more.
myself
Do it
feel
often.
good.
Yep.
That's okay. That's totally fine.
It's a
Yeah.
positive way to make
We
yourself
give
feel good.
compliments
I'm
all the
for it.
time, Christina and I.
Oh God, I will tell
We hype
anyone.
each other. We're each other's hype woman.
Oh, I told
Always.
this one girl I liked her lips, and I'm like, she probably thinks I'm like, but she did. She had really nice lips. I don't know. And then after I was like, is it weird to like? tell
No,
someone
that's
they
her
have nice
problem
lips?
if she didn't go home feeling
Yeah, I feel like
absolutely
you need. I feel
No,
like this,
great lips.
this world, we don't give each other compliments enough. I'll
Mm.
be in the supermarket. I'm like, here's a weird one. I'm like, to like a random like checker, like a younger, I think it was like a younger, like 15, 16-year-old guy at ShopRite, right? And I was like, oh, you smell really nice. And this dude must have
That's
thought I
nice.
was fucking nuts. But I was like, you smell nice, this little fella, with this little cologne. I was like, you smell nice. Like, keep it up, bud.
Look at him trying, this little nugget.
Wow.
You little
I love
scamp.
it.
You little scamper.
Oh my God.
Just
Well,
now.
that's a great way to end this here, since we are at time. I feel like we could dig into each one of these methodologies and sub stories more. So we're gonna have to have you back on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll figure that part out. I want to thank you both for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always here for it if you need it.